Running scared. Bitcoin clinging on as tech stocks also struggle, the chances of another rate cut recede, and crypto's fear and greed index falls to its lowest level ever. Idiocracy. As a South Korean exchange accidentally sends out billions of dollars worth of BTC, is it any wonder people don't take crypto seriously? Counterfactual. As it becomes clear that the only people to have made money this cycle are the Trump family, we have to ask, would crypto have been better under Kamala? And we'll have the tweets of the week, dates for your diary, and some top quality TAs sprinkled on top. This is the Coin Bureau News, live. Hello friends, this is the Coin Bureau News Live. Welcome everyone, it is great to see you again. It is great to be back. Nick, hello.
Great to be back. How's it going, guy?
Yeah, I'm
good.
I'm all right. I'm all right. I mean, I'm just bearing up.
Yeah. Congratulations to all the Americans out there. I know it's President's Day, and if you're tuning in for President's Day, I know you've got other more important things to watch, like Trump's speech about why he's the best president in the world. But now you're here with us.
A very happy President's Day to all who celebrate. Yes, so that means U.S. markets are closed today, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I mean, given what's been going on recently, that's probably a good thing, right?
Not a bad thing at all. Yeah.
Maybe they could just remain closed for the rest of the week and give us all a break. Oh yes. So smash the like button, everyone. If the counter get down below Nick gets to 100%, we'll I don't know, we'll do something outrageous, shall we?
Yeah. They can tell us what to do in the comments. Tell us what you guys want us to do if we reach 100% likes.
Yes,
1,000 likes. There we go.
Absolutely. Yes, and a very good morning or good afternoon or indeed good evening to everyone watching. And just to remind you folks, it is not my birthday today, so don't let's start that again. Today we are going to we're going to look back on a week where, as we said in the headlines there, the fear and greed, crypto's fear and greed plunged to its lowest level ever. And it's still not quite at zero. Maybe we could get it there today. Maybe this stream will be what finally tips it to zero. So we're going to talk about that, and yes, we're going to have a light-hearted look at some stupidity in the crypto space that was making headlines last week, and then look, we have to ask, as I said, would it have been better under Kamala? Because it ain't been great under Donald.
On this President's Day, guy, we got sacrilegious.
It seems appropriate. It seems appropriate to be discussing presidential matters. Okay, Nick's gym routine. Yeah, that would probably be good. And a tea recipe from Guy. Look, you can have the tea recipe for free. You get a tea bag, plop it in some hot water, bit of milk, bosh.
You're not a big tea drinker, but you do have a good coffee recipe.
Yes.
It involves a very involved process of bean selection, grinding and all that.
Yeah, we had some Ethiopian beans in the office today. It was lovely. And what they wanted a 500k BTC as well.
Oh, we can get that for them for 1,000 likes. Yeah, we'll try our best, guys.
We'll
probably
give it a good shot.
At this stage, it's more chance of a 500k BTC than you guys getting 1,000 likes.
That's where we are, folks. That's where we are. Okay, Nick. That's the housekeeping done. Let's kick off and talk about last week in Bitcoin, because it was eventful, wasn't it?
It was eventful indeed. So, as per usual, Monday started off with Saylor hitting the buy button, or he obviously disclosed the purchases he made the week prior. $90 million. It's okay. It's doing well. Still managing. And he also says he will buy forever.
Okay. Yeah. He'll just keep buying until he's dead.
Indeed. Presumably. Yeah. We're not going to be selling. We're going to be buying Bitcoin. But unfortunately for him, his strategy is still underwater by as much as $5 billion. The average purchase price of the Bitcoin on Strategy's balance sheet is $78,815.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All fine then. Then Tuesday, the White House hosted a meeting around, so this was crypto companies and crypto exchanges and banks about the Clarity Act.
Yes, but the banks weren't having it. There was little progress made. We did a video on this last week as well, but the banks are adamant that they don't want any sort of yield paid on stablecoins.
Yeah, this is starting to look like a bit of an impasse, isn't it? I must say, I don't know about you, I'm not all that hopeful this Clarity Act is going to get passed. And actually, in its current form, with banning stablecoin yield, I don't think we want it passed, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Doesn't look good, bruv.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's this odd relationship between banks and crypto, because on the one hand, you've got banks, they hate it. On the other hand, you've got the likes of Goldman Sachs actually upping their crypto exposure.
Yeah, up to $1.1 billion in Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP. It's just 0.33% of their total assets, but it's something. It's something.
It's not much, but it's honest work.
Here we go.
That takes us to Wednesday then. Bitcoin went below 68K and then 67K as well. More of the red candles that we've come to know and love so well.
Indeed. The NFP numbers came out and they were actually pretty good on the surface, above expectation, 130K versus forecast of 66K. However, all that glitters isn't gold. And that shows you where the jobs were coming from. And spoiler alert, most of the jobs were coming from the healthcare sector.
Okay. This is
pretty crazy.
This is presumably all the people who've been recruited as psychiatric professionals to deal with all the crypto bros.
With all the crypto bros and all the people who've lost their jobs because there's not been any job creation in any other sectors. So you're either in the psychiatric ward because you were a crypto bro or because you are losing your job because there's no jobs being created in anything else other than healthcare in the US. So great for mental health.
Okay, wonderful. This meant, of course, that the chances of another rate cut at the next FOMC meeting took a tumble, which duly punted Bitcoin below 66K.
Yep, there we go, below 66K. And get this, guys, the fear and greed fell to its lowest level ever, 5. Crazy stuff.
Where were you? Daddy, where were you when the fear and greed index hit 5?
Oh, no, it's mental. Although, to be honest, it is possible that it could actually go to 0. Tired of winning, man.
Oh, wonderful. I did like the cartoon as well, where they were just, someone had just painted on an extra bit below 0. So it could go negative, perhaps. Yeah. Okay, so all that takes us to Thursday. Tech stocks are also selling off. We're not alone, folks. It's not just crypto. Tech stocks are having a bit of a nightmare as well.
AI fears. There was a lot of AI moves last week in terms of new models being released and a lot of fear around what these could be doing to companies and jobs and everything. So that caused the tech sector to sell off, particularly in the software sector.
Yep.
But then remember, Guy, our favorite institutional price predictor, the one on the one Standard Chartered, Mr. Jeff Kendrick.
Standard Chartered. Presumably these guys are ultra bullish and they say we're going to the moon within the next couple of weeks, right?
For context, guys, you got to know Standard Charters. They probably make more parabolic Bitcoin price predictions than Tom Lee or your average crypto YouTuber. And they had a price prediction out as late as July last year that Bitcoin would hit $200,000 by the end of the year. Okay. And now they've come out, they've said, well, it's still going to hit $100,000 this year, end of this year, but we go into $50,000, which presumably, given their track record, means we're probably going down to $10 before it shoots up to 1 million.
Just capture that spread and you'll be absolutely fine. Yes, so that Standard Chart is I find it quite reassuring that basically everyone is getting this wrong. Like that, it just proves no one knows anything, doesn't it? And there's some comfort to be taken from that. This takes us to Friday. CPI numbers, they were pretty much in line with expectations, weren't they?
Yeah, indeed. And then that basically took us to the weekend. Bitcoin managed to reclaim 70K. And then Saylor also released a plan to deal with the debt, and that's basically to equitize it, essentially slowly convert the debt over the next 3 to 6 years to equity. Okay. And we'll get to why that's important a bit later on Tweets of the Week.
Mm-hmm. Now, we talked about employment numbers. This is a bit more recent. Here we are. U.S. unemployment figures, a massive 1 million downward correction.
Yeah, indeed. So basically, all that job growth we thought we saw last year almost evaporated. Like only 100,000 jobs then. Okay. Over the whole year.
So all those mental health professionals were recruited, realized that they had to spend most of their time speaking to crypto bros, and duly resigned.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what happened, guys.
Okay. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Okay, and that takes us to let's have a bit of a look ahead. So as Nick pointed out at the top of the stream, today is President's Day. What do you Americans do on President's Day? Is it just an excuse to get drunk again, or do you erect effigies of your favorite president and then burn them? How does it work over there? What do you do?
I really wonder. Yeah, I mean, Trump is obviously getting involved in some of these crypto pump and dumps there. Yeah. And we've also got the FOMC minutes coming out on Wednesday and the PCE inflation numbers. So we'll get back onto those in a bit. Quickly taking a look at the charts on the weekly. This is a very important chart. This basically shows that this is it's not looking good. Now, I'm just going to be straight up, guys. Firstly, it's the fourth weekly negative close, so the fourth weekly down candle. It's also the fourth weekly close below the 100-week moving average, and it's also the first weekly close below the previous all-time or the previous cycle all-time high. Okay. So the trend is not our friend, and if all indications are as they are, it seems we could potentially that 200-week moving average down there at the 60K level, but slightly below the 60K level, could be the next target in the next few weeks. And then another thing to reinforce that is the on-chain levels. And this is particularly interesting. This is the cost basis distribution heat map. Basically shows the price at which a lot of coins were traded in the past. You can see the warmer the color, the more coins were traded. And we're currently now holding between this 60 to 70K level, which basically, if you look at that previous zone back in the previous 2024, there was a lot of distribution of coins in that price range, and so far we're holding within it, which means that there are buyers stepping in at this level. Hopefully we hold it, because if we do fall below 60K, you'll see there's that big blue ocean over there. That's quite deep, and that basically shows there's not been a lot of trading in those levels recently, and as a result we could go into a bit of a trap door. So let's hope we hold in this range at least for the next few days. But if you guys are looking to trade these markets and you're bullish or bearish, whatever, which way you want to go, the best place to do it is on 2bit, which is a top-tier international exchange and one of our brand partners over here. It's super simple to use. You can just basically create an account with an email address. That's all that's needed. And you can do that by scanning the QR code on the screen or hitting the link down in the description. So you can use their exchange. It's got a solid interface, deep liquidity, competitive fees. And once you've got the account, you can play around with it, see how it works for you. And then if you do want to actually trade with real cash, you just deposit, and you can avail yourself of up to 90K in trading rewards if you make a deposit, as well as an immediate VIP level 1 upgrade with 50% off trading fees for life. So there you go, guys. Scan the QR code, link down below. Give 2bit a try.
Wonderful stuff. Okay, Nick, I'm going to give you a rundown of the sentiment in the comments here. This is how far crypto has come. Space.YouTube is just here for the GOAT. So, not even here for the top-notch crypto knowledge.
Isn't he referring to you?
I think
the greatest of all time?
I think he must.
There we go. Yeah.
Space. I'm flattered. I'm flattered. Meanwhile, Brett, good old reliable Brett as ever. I mean, this is one of the more printable ones of Brett's comments today. If anyone can get it to 0, it's you, guy. Thank you, Brett. It's you I do it for. Some questions about the coffee as well. Have the beans passed through the gut of a rodent? Obviously, Dre. Come on, what do you think we are?
A rodent, gut of a rodent.
Yeah, I think.
Isn't there like some civet? That's not a rodent. A civet is a cat. No.
All right.
Guys, listen.
Welcome to Coffee Bureau. Today we are talking about
Let's get our terminology correct, guys.
Of animal does a coffee bean?
Who would honestly eat a coffee bean out of a rodent or out of the
Let's move on.
In the pieces of a rat.
Let's move on. Alexander the Based. That is a great name. I'm not celebrating any president. Yes, a few bits about this. Dan, nobody celebrates President's Day in my 62 years. It's a fake holiday made to replace the birthdays of Washington and Lincoln. That's disappointing. I thought I
something big about it. No fireworks, nothing like this 4th of July, no?
No, apparently not.
Or no parades for His Excellency? No military parades?
I know they dye the Chicago River green on St. Patrick's Day. I mean, could you dye the Potomac red, white, and blue or something? I don't know. Come on, America. Sort it out.
Come on.
Okay, and here's some useful perspective from Christopher Poole. Sounds like a good, upstanding person, Christopher Poole. I first bought BTC in 2015, £2,000. Within 5 days, it dropped to £400. Sit tight and hold your nose, or buy more if you can. Chris in London.
Hold your nose, cover your eyes, and.
Yeah, we've been here before. I think is what Chris in London is trying to say. So some much needed perspective there. Okay, so that is the sentiment as ever. You guys are doing a great job of, even in tough times like this, keeping the sentiment up. Love to see it. Okay, now. This is a story we debated whether to talk about this because on the one hand it's not the biggest crypto story perhaps of all time, But it really did sort of spark quite a lot of debate in the office. So we thought we'd better talk about it on the news this week. So, Nick, can you fill us in sort of on what basically went down here?
Imagine guys getting sent 2,000 Bitcoin accidentally to your exchange account. What would you do? What was your first reaction? You see 2,000 Bitcoin in your exchange account, because this is what happened last week. So it actually got a lot of mainstream press, which isn't the best thing. But so what exactly happened? So this is Bithumb, which is one of the biggest Korean crypto exchanges. And they had this random box promotional event. And they intended to reward 695 users with a small cash prize of 2,000 Korean won. For reference, that's roughly $1.40. I don't know why on earth anyone would be happy to receive a $1.40 gift, to be honest, a promotional gift, but whatever. However, a staff member accidentally set the reward unit to Bitcoin instead of won. And as a result, winners were credited with at least 2,000 Bitcoin each, which is approximately $140 million per person.
Oh my word! Yes. So yes, that's a great roundup of it, Nick. So yeah, as we've seen, that this kind of made the mainstream news headline, which was really frustrating, wasn't it? Because this is the sort of crypto story that the mainstream media absolutely loves. You know, it's like when crypto goes bad, when someone does something really stupid, and this was it. So yeah, I mean, there's so many things to sort of get your head around here. It's the first, just like the sending out, like, what was it, $1.40's worth of rewards, and that's what they meant to send out. It's like, oh, thank you very much. Gosh, it's like I'd rather get nothing at all.
I mean, come on, really, guys, honestly. What is it with Bithumb and these stupid exchanges sending $1.40 rewards? I mean, rather 90K in trading rewards, and don't forget 2-bit, guys, and scam them.
Seamless, Nick, seamless. So they did you talk about how they got around this?
Well, first of all, okay, so basically, just in context, guys, that they accidentally in their own systems distributed, technically, in terms of what was given out, 620,000 Bitcoin, which represents roughly 3% of the total Bitcoin supply. It's worth noting, of course, they didn't hold that. It was just an internal system. So obviously, Guy, what do you do if you see you got 2,000 Bitcoin sent to you?
I mean, I'm with a lot of people in the comments here. Now, as we had a bit of an argument about this earlier, didn't we? But like, if that happened to me, I would start withdrawing. I would like, obviously, if you tried to withdraw 2,000 BTC to your cold wallet, that is going to flag up KYC, AML, all that sort of stuff. But I would go with if it's in my wallet, it's my keys, my coins.
Mate, they're gonna, the moment that happens, they got your KYC documents, you get in legal cases sent against you. But anyways, what did happen was a lot of these guys who saw they got this and thinking it's too good to be true, what am I going to do? I'm going to cash out. So they dumped their Bitcoin on their internal order books. And if you dump in that much Bitcoin on their internal market maker order books, it's going to do something to the price.
Yeah. So we saw basically a localized flash crash on Bithumb. At the time, Bitcoin was trading at around $70,000. Bithumb, it actually went down to $55,000. That's a 17% plunge on this one exchange.
Imagine if you're the guy who buys, who it goes down to 55K, and you're like a random other user, and you see, oh my God, Bitcoin's down to 55K, and it's trading on 70K on an international exchange. I'm going to go and buy. Then you have to reverse those orders as well.
Like the kimchi premium is back. Let's load up. Absolutely crazy. So basically, Bithumb managed to successfully recover. This was what was reported at the time. Successfully recover 99.7% of the mistakenly sent funds. They did this mostly by basically reversing internal ledger entries. So they just kind of, tweaked the books.
Yeah, exactly.
For the accounts that hadn't moved the coins. But some actually had. And there was a great quote, I think it was in the Guardian article, which we may have quoted on the TikTok. But they said that they were having basically... Oh, yes. The exchanges, so this is from the Guardian article reporting this, the exchange is now holding what it described as one-on-one persuasion talks with roughly 80 customers who cashed out.
Come on, guys, let's talk about this, please. Let's talk about this, pretty please. You guys want to come in for a nice chat in the office? We can have a chat.
I mean, I just imagined this. I just imagined these talks as sort of, starting off as like, please just give it back, please, and then it just gets escalated further and further up the chain of command.
Then they
until the Bithumb CEO is basically screaming at them down the phone.
Or basically because they have your KYC information, you get a knock on the door with a few heavy set guys, basically like, yo,
yeah. Those Bitcoins, we're going to need those back. So an absolute mess, let's say.
There's also regulatory issues there because it's triggered an emergency response from South Korea's regulators. The regulators launched an on-site inspection, citing that the error, quote, exposed the vulnerabilities and risks of virtual assets. Again, not the best look for crypto.
No. As we understand it, at the moment, just over 100 BTC were withdrawn and remains unrecovered. Bithumb obviously has begun legal proceedings. So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, you've got to kind of side with the little guy on this one, haven't you? It's our mistake.
I mean, but come on, you're giving come on, it's like it's
I think they should let them keep some of it. I think they should let them, at least give them a multiple on the pathetic amount that they were offering.
It's not like they've identified a vulnerability. It's just they were lucky guys.
I think they have identified a vulnerability. They've identified. Are we back? We're back.
Oh God!
Apologies, folks. We seem to have an interruption to service.
The same guy. Yeah, we got Bithumb tech support on our StreamYard.
Bithumb executing a DDoS attack.
Yeah, but if you guys have an exchange account and you are sent 2,000 Bitcoin accidentally and you do want to store it in a cold wallet for safekeeping, we couldn't think of a better way to put it than on a Tangent hardware wallet device. So these are your all-in-one crypto solution with no seed phrases, middlemen, or compromises. Just tap and go.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't be easier to set up. And if you scan the QR code there, you get a 10% discount. Get yourself one, and then when your exchange fat fingers you 2,000 BTC, you know where to send it.
Yeah, there we go.
Surely the big win. Surely there was champagne being popped at the Upbit offices whilst all this was happening. Because Bithumb, if I remember, is the second largest exchange in South Korea. Yeah. Upbit is by far the largest, but I mean they must have been absolutely loving it.
Possibly, or I mean, if it invites a lot of regulatory scrutiny, who knows?
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so we've got to talk about this, folks, because when Donald Trump won the election in November of 2024, obviously we all knew that he was pro-crypto. He'd shown just how pro-crypto he was, and we were confident that he was going to put his money where his mouth was. Crypto prices obviously ripped as a result. And here we are, a little over a year later, and yeah, the vibes ain't as good.
Definitely not, especially on crypto Twitter. If you take a look at some of these accounts, people have been questioning. There's been a lot of people questioning whether crypto would have been better under a Kamala presidency.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just people's sentiment on the timeline. It's also the question of, and this is, of course, relates to crypto prices because, Bitcoin has round-tripped all the gains since Trump was elected, not even just inaugurated.
Wow.
So all the gains that we've seen from the election price have been retraced. And Alts basically didn't even have much gains to retrace, to be honest, because she had a little bit of a pump in November, but since then it's been down only, and it's pretty much down there in Goblin Town for Alts.
Yeah. Now, of course, who do we think is currently sitting back on their laurels, feeling pretty pleased with themselves?
Oh no, I'm sure he's there. He's basically
there. He is. How fortunes change. Just over a year ago, this guy, we were all doing victory laps. We were all dancing on Gary Gensler's grave. I imagine he is feeling pretty
vindicated, indeed.
Pretty vindicated now, yeah.
But it's not just crypto bros in general. I mean, I found this pretty crazy. This is like apparently a poll over the past few weeks, but it's an Axios. So I don't know. I mean, take it for what it is.
Yeah.
But there's some majority of voters say that Biden was better, which is crazy.
Yeah, Trump's approval ratings not great at the moment. Now, look, we need to be fair here, because Trump and his administration, they have done a lot of pro-crypto stuff. Stuff has happened that perhaps we definitely wouldn't have seen under the Biden administration, and it's very likely we wouldn't have seen under a Kamala Harris presidency. For instance, we had the Genius Act, which was passed late last year. Now this, really is a landmark bill as far as stablecoins go. We also got a pro-crypto, not only the SEC but also the CFTC as well. The SEC, obviously, as we just referred to with Gary Gensler, was rabidly anti-crypto, and we now have the complete opposite.
Yeah, exactly. And we also potentially, look. The Clarity Act is still being worked on, as we discussed earlier. Scott Besson says crypto will recover if Clarity Act is passed. Mm-hmm. Although, let's be honest, guys, as we mentioned, it seems unlikely due to the banks that are blocking the provisions around stablecoin yield. We've got to get this done before February. And if it doesn't come before February, then I think midterms will take priority.
Yeah. Yeah, so it does very much feel like like time is kind of running out to get this last bit of legislation passed. And actually, talking about the SEC, there's been lots of talk about the innovation exemption. This was going to be a period of time whereby it was kind of legal to do anything crypto related in the US. Now, this was supposed to come last month. Paul Atkins, pro crypto SEC chair, was talking about it for a bit. He said January came and went. We're now over halfway through February. There's no sign of it. So it's all very well kind of having, nice words and nice sentiment talked, but at the moment, without sort of positive action, it's nothing but hot air, really.
Well, yeah, words are bubbles in water and deeds are drops of gold. So
poetic.
Yes, indeed. Getting very philosophical today. But I mean, also in terms of what we did get, not just the some bills that did pass, we got multiple projects, meme coins, scandals, questions, negative publicity around presidential, projects and potential double dealing and all this. And let's not, of course, forget the meme coins, the Trump that launched the day, like just literally before the inauguration, Trump and Melania, which are basically, we can call these rugs, straight up rugs. I mean, they're not going anywhere. Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yeah. I think we all had a kind of sinking feeling when that Trump meme coin first appeared, didn't we? Because that came during the pre-inauguration ball when all these sort of crypto bigwigs had gathered, and suddenly this Trump meme coin appears out of nowhere. And I guess if you want to take this back, if you want to pinpoint a moment where it started, or when the dream kind of started to die, that was it. I think
that was it, man.
The launch of the Trump meme coin.
And unfortunately, the public perception has taken a massive nosedive. I don't know if you guys are watching the Super Bowl last week. There was, in between the Bad Bunny performance, there was a ad, and there was a Coinbase ad that basically was it was a bit of a rug pull, let's be honest. Actually, it literally was, because they teed it up with a sing-along to some Backstreet Boys. But anyway, this was a viral clip of some people watching the ad at home. And one of the people who were watching, when they noticed it was a Coinbase ad, they voiced their displeasure in a particular way. Yes. So it speaks a lot about where we are at the moment. And I kind of feel that, say what you like about the Biden administration and the state of crypto under it, it was tough, but crypto kind of had that image still of being something kind of something for the outsiders, something that was cool. Something almost cool, something that was defying the man. Yeah, sticking to the man,
sticking it to the man somewhat. And now
we've been rugged by the man.
Now the man has rugged us.
That's what it is, guy. So I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, this question will rage a lot on the timeline for as long as possible. We'll have to see how things turn out with the midterms. Who knows? But irrespective of how you feel about crypto, guys, understand that there is always a bull market somewhere. And if you don't necessarily want to trade crypto, you can still trade traditional assets like stocks and commodities on a crypto exchange. And of course, one of the best places to do that is BitGet, our second brand partner here, our third brand partner. So if you don't have a BitGet account, you can create one right now by scanning the QR code link down below. And over there, you can swap your USDT and trade tokenized gold and other assets like stocks. And you basically trade directly with the USDT up to 500 times leverage and deep liquidity.
Crikey.
As well as 50K in potential sign-up off bonuses as well. So it's not Bithumb level stinginess here.
Okay. That's good to know. I should say as well, we're pretty sure BitGet aren't going to actually credit your account with 2,000 BTC, just to manage expectations. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it is time. Now, last week we sprang a TA surprise on you. We had Aaron on the TA instead of our regular Lewis. This week we have someone different for you again.
Another person from the Coin Bureau trading family has decided to take over the TA today and take it away, Jordie.
Get your TA fix when Jordie's in the mix.
What's up, guys? It's Jordan Crypt here with a quick rapid-fire TA update starting on the weekly time frame. It is good to see that our weekly RSI is actually sitting in the oversold area, and it is rhyming with our stochastic RSI in that oversold zone. The stochastic is slowly moving towards its moving average, and a breakthrough of this moving average would be a good sign for upwards momentum and a possible signal of a reversal and a continuation of this regular RSI back up into its momentum zone towards that 50 line. The last time our weekly RSI did come into this oversold zone was all the way back here in June 2022, down at around $20,000. This is a good sign that we are already looking oversold for the RSI up here at 68K, although please be aware that we could still come down to much lower levels within this oversold range. Looking at my favorite indicator, the market cipher indicator on this weekly time frame, and there are full tutorials on these market cipher strategies on the Coin Bureau trading channel. Awesome to note that the market cipher did catch the bearish divergence all the way up at $119,000, now around 50% up in profits on the downtrend on spot. Our green trigger wave on the weekly then managed to get us this nice uptick of about 14%, and now we are seeing the continuation of this red dot to the downside at the break of our bear flag pattern. I think most of you are fully aware of this bear flag pattern, and we have now finally reached our full price target, which is also another reason why we could potentially see a reversal from these levels. Something interesting I am seeing on the charts here, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but if I see a pattern, I have to bring it to the community, and we are seeing what could potentially play out to be a pretty crazy head and shoulders pattern with a lower high coming in for the right shoulder anywhere in the next few weeks to months. As you can see, if we do put in this right shoulder, this is an extremely bearish price target. And as we know with Bitcoin, anything is possible. This price target would bring us to a very bearish $12,000 level. Personally, I don't expect levels this low, but we have to be aware of what the charts are telling us. Something very nice to note here on the weekly, and congratulations to those smart money concept traders who managed to get the sniper entry on this wick long. There is a smart money concept order block tutorial on the Coin Bureau trading channel, but in very basic terms, we saw the break of structure here to the upside with our impulse move, and our last red candle before that break of structure was this doji candle here, and as we can see, that gave us a beautiful sniper entry right at the tippy top of our bullish OB. Another thing, in my opinion, to be very aware of is this $86,000 to $87,000 support and resistance flip. Here we can see support established, broken through, and we have not yet come up to properly retest that and flip it into resistance. In institutional trading terms, this is known as the scene of the crime, and it means there are a lot of big orders for shorts sitting around this level. And one of the reasons why that level is acting as a magnet on our charts. Something else most traders will probably be aware of is, of course, our CME gap that has not been properly filled. I like to look at these gaps on the 4-hour time frame, and we can see here that there is still an imbalance on the charts, and this is one of the reasons our 84K level is also currently acting as a magnet for price, and this will be a nice price target for those who did get in on the smart money concept bullish order block long. Going back to the weekly with a bit of market structure analysis, we can see that from all-time highs, we have now dropped around 52%. Typically, historically, our bear markets have brought us down from all-time highs around 75%, within that last year of the 4-year cycle. So if history is going to rhyme in any way, we should have at least another 25% down within and around the next 240 days, and that brings us round about to $44,000. And this could be a potential bottoming level. We did see our fear and greed index go all the way down to 5, and typically these extreme fear levels are also a sign that we are coming down towards whale accumulation zones. Going now to the daily time frame, it's very important to be aware of your fixed range volume profile on your micro range at all times, and it's clear to see now that we are hovering around the POC, the point of control. The next place that I will be scouting for longs will be within the value area low of this range, and we don't currently know how low that value area goes because we are currently establishing this range. And clear to see our major levels of volume above us are sitting at 78,800, a nice high volume zone around $82,000 to $84,000, and then some nice high volume here between $88,000 to $91,000. Those could be some nice areas for scalps and potential continuations on the downtrend. A juicy level for me that's looking like a nice potential short could be the 95,000 level.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Jordie, there.
Yeah,
Great. That was an in-depth analysis, the in-depth TA over on just Bitcoin. But if you guys want any more of his analysis, as well as some of the bigger breakdowns in terms of the stuff the terminologies and techniques he broke down there, you can do so on the Coin Bureau Trading channel. And indeed, we also do, and Jordie also posts, by the way, guys, once every 2 weeks on the Coin Bureau podcast channel as well. So you can get more of his videos over there. And we also do have a new host over on the Coin Bureau Trading channel. And that's Matt, Aussie, to complete the whole United Nations of the Coin Bureau trading community and indeed the broader Coin Bureau family. So he did his first stream today on Alt specifically. I heard him talking about XRP there. So you guys go and if you want to subscribe to Coin Bureau Trading, just scan the QR code on the screen over there and go and watch and give Matt a big hi from us over here and go and watch his video.
Yeah, absolutely. Check out the growing team of gigabrains over at Coin Bureau Trading. It occurs to me that the sort of TA section that we have, whether it's being delivered by Jordie or Aaron or Lewis or whoever, it's a bit like the kind of weather section of the news, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Of the sort of mainstream news.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sort of diagrams.
The forecasts,
this might happen.
The forecast, exactly, and the different personalities of and the different. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the weather reports have not been too good more recently. Indeed.
It's a bit like a British weather
It's
forecast.
like Lewis doing the US weather. It's like, it's too shit. I'm just going to go and take a look at the Brazilian weather right now. And he goes to metals.
Just going to see what's happening in
Brazil.
Yeah, in Ecuador. It's the crypto weather is a bit like the weather in Britain now. There are some parts of Britain that have had rain every single day this year so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's a weather front sort of stuck over the UK.
Oh, my God.
So, fortunately, I'm not there. Okay, let's now have a look at some tweets of the week.
Yep, cool. So this is the context of this one. I don't know if you guys saw this video. It was Michael Saylor being interviewed on CNBC. And essentially, he was they were asking him for hypothetical scenarios. What happens if Bitcoin goes to particular levels? And he begrudgingly answered one question. And he said, we are okay even if we go down to 8K. Which prompted a question and then he said, if we get down to 8K, it's fine, no problem. We can just refinance the debt. And trying to refinance billions and billions of dollars of debt with collateral that's worth a tenth of that is probably going
to be a little bit of an uphill.
So anyway, she asked him, refinance where, Michael? And then he answered, but the point of the matter is, it's become a bit of a meme, especially her reaction in that particular question.
Yeah.
So refinance where, Michael? So yeah, Saylor has not had a good week last week.
Her face is priceless, isn't it? It's like, what?
Exactly.
What the hell?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Michael Saylor, our patron saint, still flying the flag there. Next up, we have this one from Hugo Martindale, predicting how crypto might react if we get a change of administration.
Yeah, so also a bit of context, guys. If you haven't been seeing, SBF has been glazing Trump on the timeline, essentially trying to get a pardon. By the end of this year, he's probably going to be the only crypto bro still supporting Trump.
Yeah,
to get that pardon, him and his sons. But yeah, this is this context. This is what happens if it's an Elizabeth Warren presidency in the 2028 election, and he's looking for a pardon.
Yeah.
He's going to go over there.
Yeah, canny guy, SBF. All right. Next up, we have this one from who's this one?
Bashara. So basically, he says you need to make your own exit liquidity, guys. If you're struggling to find exit liquidity, you can make your own. And essentially, here is a scene, and this must be a real scene of some guy basically doing a presentation out in the old age home in the retirement village, and the grannies and grandpas watching how to trade crypto. So he's trying to engineer his own exit liquidity. And yeah, I mean, if there's nobody else who's watching your streams anymore on YouTube or on Twitter or anything, you just go to a captive audience who can't basically leave because they can't move. And
Coming soon, Coin Bureau presents Crypto for Seniors, coming to a retirement home near you.
what's this on, sweetie? I thought I was watching The Bold and the Beautiful.
Okay, and we also have this tweet here from who's this one from? Oh, so, okay. So this is Nick Carter replying to Sam Altman. So, do you want to give the context?
The context is, so this guy's the Peter Steinberger is the guy who created the Claude bot, that open source AI tool that went viral over the past 2 weeks, fork of and utilizing Claude's code. And essentially, the long story is he'd been pestered by a lot of crypto community members who wanted him to launch a meme coin, join their meme coin, potentially earn some fees from the meme coin, get a bag in crypto terminology off this meme coin. And he basically was pestered and harassed to exhaustion. And he was even quoted on the Lex Friedman podcast as saying that it was the worst form of online harassment he's ever had, and that's because they also sniped domains, they sniped names, then all this kind of stuff. So essentially, he said, to hell with the shit, and he's basically gone and joined OpenAI. And the funny comment there from Nick Carter is basically, and people were telling him to cash out by endorsing a meme coin. Yeah, I mean, a 200K cash out versus a multi-million-dollar deal to join OpenAI.
Wow.
Sure.
Wow. The crypto bros unleashed. Yeah, God, that's really cringe, isn't it? Now, folks, I know that you may be thinking that the video quality has diminished. It's not actually. It's just the fact that your eyes have teared up because of crypto pro. You're just watching us through tears. It's nothing to do with the video quality.
It's tough, guys. Cheer up, guys.
Yeah, cheer up. Come on, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Okay, Nick, do you want to quickly give us some dates for the diary?
So on the February the 18th, we've got the FOMC minutes. These will be closely scrutinized as markets search for deeper insights into the Fed's economic outlook and policy direction, particularly any details that have not been fully revealed during the January meeting.
Okay. 20th of February, we have the core PCE. 2.8 is expected. And then what, 2.9 for... 2.8 is the headline.
2.8 is the headline expected, and then 2.9% is expected for core. And then we also, on the February 20th, we've got Q4 GDP numbers. And again, potentially a settlement of, a judgment in the tariff case from the Supreme Court. So there's a lot to look forward to on the February the 20th. So put that in your calendar, guys.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, yes, we do apologize for the quality of the stream. Not quite sure why that is, but X is down also, so people haven't been able to watch us on X. Dre said, I'm not sure what Dre's referring to here. Yes, Guy, it's been awful. Is that the stream or the weather in the UK? I'm not sure. And I know there's been a bit of speculation. Don't worry, folks. Lewis will be back. He's just taking some time out to sort some stuff out. Probably his metals addiction, among other things. And he will be back with us soon. Now we've got a coffee update, Nick. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, tell me.
I'm sorry to say that you may have actually been proved right. Kopi Luwak is produced from coffee cherries that are eaten, partially digested, and excreted by the Asian palm civet, a small cat-like animal found in Indonesia.
I knew watching all those days of National Geographic and David Attenborough's, the breakdowns pay off one day when I did a crypto stream talking about your coffee addiction, guy.
Your childhood wasn't all wasted, Nick. And Brett, as ever, reliable old Brett, giving us some extra information there. The Asian palm civet, Paradoxus hermaphroditus. Well, we all knew that, Brett. Come on. Add something more.
I forgot.
All right. So we will leave it there, folks. We will be back next week with a better quality of picture, I'm sure, once you've wiped the tears from your eyes. And lots more to look out for from all our channels over the week too. So thank you for watching. Nick, great to see you again.
You too, and Guy. You too, guys. And see you next week.
See you next week.
Why is there no modern day Monty Python with Guy, Nick, and LMAO? Pre-rich to now, poor Mao. Great video, I do enjoy this channel. Don't trip by the dip, Nick aka the Count of Monte Crypto. Where in the world are you watching from? Pits of despair, Guy's secret lair. I am early for the party. Hopefully they let me sleep in the lobby. Where in the world are you watching from? Pits of despair, Guy's secret lair. I am early for the party. Hopefully they let me sleep in the lobby.
Go! Out.